One shoots at the valuable bits. Whether you're new to the CRZ endurance build or you've watched some of the updates in the other videos, we're gonna do a standalone video on where we're at. We've made a ton of progress on this car. We've talked about a number of systems before, which you can check out in this video right here. If not, we're gonna do a quick brief overview there and talk about some of the updates that we've got going on. Majority of the front end is put back together here. We have our cooling and ducting package installed. Front bumper is back on. It's been modified to have a recovery hook and the external hood latch pull. So basically the entire front cooling package is back together, all the under trays, all the mountings and fixings. We have the intake built. Evan fabbed up an intake, got that all sorted and ready. Wiper tray and cowl and everything is back on, which covers, you know, the motor pretty well. It's all kind of tucked in here, hidden. Far more serviceable K24 swap on a CRZ versus a Fit, because you can pull this tray out and actually like pull your coils out and service things if you need to, where on the Fit, you can't even pull the valve cover. So I really like the CRZ chassis for a K-swap build. If you can deal with like a two-door sort of a hatchback thing, which these things are awesome. All of our cooling system is back together. All of our fluid systems are back together. Oil cooler circuit is all plumbed. Fuel system is plumbed. We've got all of our accessories put together. We just need to finish up, you know, just a quick install on the cowl and stuff like that for the wiper arms. As far as reusing and recycling some things, most of the cooling system is new and not factory. But one cool thing that Evan was able to do was take the factory overflow bottle and nestle it into the corner here with a custom little bracket. It barely fits with this radiator that we typically use on all of our K-swap cars, whether they're front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, which we've talked about before, but it just so happens that there's just enough room to get the factory bottle in there. And I think it installed really well and really clean. Also, a quick note, you might notice a 411 Works silicone coupler right here. This is actually my boy Ryan Turk's new company. Him and his brothers and his friends have started this company for fabrication materials. They have couplers, clamps, fabrication, tight radius donuts, all kinds of really cool stuff, weld fittings, just tons and tons of really cool stuff, primarily made in the USA where they can help it. Good quality stuff if you get a chance. Check out 411works.com. Interior. So, the interior is mostly finished up. We have our screen. Actually, Evan went and did a V2 design on this so that our main programming plug is here and accessible. We've added a clock over here just in case for some reason you lose communication with the pits, or you're not sure what you have because your data screen went down for whatever reason, you're not sure what you have for fuel. You have a timer or a clock because everyone knows when they go out and everyone knows how much fuel they have roughly and what the burn down time on that is. So you know if comms go down, I have to be in the pits at this time. So whether we have communication to the pits or not, they're gonna be expecting me around this time. So you sync your clocks at the beginning of the race just in case. It's sort of a contingency plan to comms going down. So we got a clock over here. Evan also fabricated this cool central center console box This has our kill switch, and everything is now powered and ready. We have our Solo 2 DL here. This has a magnet mount. This has a few channels as backup to the dash, just in case the dash goes down for whatever reason. We have some of the more important sensors that are part of this system here. So we've got engine RPM, oil pressure, oil temp, water temp. That's also getting the CAN stream from the ECU. So if for whatever reason this screen goes down, which we've never had one do that, but if for some reason it did go down, you could reference your critical sensor data over here on your secondary backup screen as well. Normally it's set up to be your best lap time, predictive lap time, that sort of thing. So that just hangs out down here. That powers when the key powers. We have our main data screen here with all relevant sensor data and stuff like that. Rear view camera is now fully installed and powered up. So we do have a secondary rear view mirror as well, but for the most part, he's going to be referencing the rear view camera for traffic and things like that. This is also really good. It's a convex lens, so you get blind spot over the both sort of hips of the car. So if there is somebody in your blind spot that you might not see in the mirror, or you can't hear them because your car's too loud or their car's too quiet, you're going to have a quick reference to say, hey, I either have room or I don't, so you're not chopping people. Got our switch for our rain light all hooked up. Then we also have a backup switch for when we do cool suit. We don't have a cool suit in here right now just because it's winter time. There's really no need to install it at this time, but we're all wired up, powered up, ready to go off the switch for the cool suit. Then on the passenger side, we have our fire system. That's all ready and installed and plumbed with our fire system pull. I haven't made a cool little bracket here. Not gonna fire that off because that'll be a mess. But yeah, fire system, one shoots at the valuable bits, and then the other one shoots up at the fuel system in case there's any sort of fire in the engine bay. And then we also have our PC925 Odyssey gel battery here as well, with our cutoff solenoid up front. So that's our main power cut. So we're actually able to control that with a low voltage or ground side control on the solenoid, so we don't have power, just hot power flying through the car in terms of wiring. We have had situations where cars have been crashed really hard. Old cars years ago when I worked at a previous race shop, where the wire ran through the firewall and the car gets crashed and it cuts the wire. That's a main battery feed with no disconnect. The disconnect was on the other side, and it actually started to arc out and melt down and cause a fire under the dash as well. So now we like to have very short runs controlled to a ground side switch solenoid so that we don't have hot, full voltage battery leads running through the car. And that's the interior. To the back, the big bad Larry fuel cell, 22-gallon radium fuel cell in the back. Can't see that right now, but Sean is probably showing you some video footage from before of Evan putting this thing together. He did a fantastic job on this thing. What you're seeing right now is the exterior cover. Now the rules state that all fuel-related items need to be enclosed in metal. So there's a secondary cell that goes on top of the primary cell to make sure that any fuel-related item is kept separate from the driver compartment. That includes a tube that will go up to the fill neck on the side of the car here, so that all fuel-related items are secondarily encased in metal. back bumper's all on. Rear pull, custom hatch pull. Normally these things have an electric switch, and when you come into the pits, you're gonna power down for fueling or you're gonna power down for any sort of work. So then that momentary button will not work anymore. So it's been modified now to have a cable pull. This will have a loop in it, just like the front, so that you'll be able to open the hatch from the outside. In lieu of doing pins or anything like that, because it comes down at a compound angle, it's really gonna be hard to do pins this way. Or you could do those like spring things, but in this case, the latch works really well. You just create a quick latch release. So now we're gonna get the car off the lift and start installing the Plastics for Performance thermoformed polycarbonate hard-coated windows. I'm just thinking on the top it's looking. So looking directly down from the top, I'm like, border. It's wet. In lieu of doing a quarter window on this side, we're actually going to just do a solid aluminum filler panel. This is to mount the fuel fill for the cell. The reason being is the reason that we're doing it on the passenger side is during driver changes or pit stops, all of the complicated driver change and this and that, multiple drivers and people standing over on the driver's side of the car are going to be there, so we can have our fuel guys over here just creating some level of separation so that they can do their thing. We don't have to worry about that interfering with what's going on over here during a fuel stop. So this window will be aluminum to be this mounting plate. Everything else will be polycarbonate.